It started as a whisper. A small shift here, a pause there, easy to overlook. Sign number 1, constant fatigue. I used to rise with the sun, energized, ready to greet the day with joy. Morning walks were my peace. But lately, even opening my eyes feels like work. It's like invisible weights press me into the bed. I tell myself it's just a bad night, maybe the weather, but it's not. Each day I feel more tired, more distant from the energy I once knew. It's not laziness, it's deeper. Something is changing. Tasks I once loved, gardening, reading, chatting with neighbors, now leave me drained. Even smiling sometimes feels like effort. I miss the old me. I miss the feeling of waking up excited, of moving freely through the day. Now, I measure time by naps and quiet moments when I can finally sit down. The tiredness isn't physical alone. It feels like my spirit, too, is slowing down. If this sounds familiar, please like this video, leave a comment, and subscribe. Have you felt this kind of fatigue lately? You're not alone, your story matters. And someone else might need to hear it too. Sign number 2, slow wound healing. It started with a tiny scratch on my arm. Just a brush against the garden fence. I didn't think twice. In the past, it would have healed in days, barely worth remembering. But this one lingered red, tender, refusing to fade. Each morning, I'd check in the mirror, expecting improvement. Instead, it looked the same. I kept cleaning it, adding ointment, covering it gently. Still, it stayed. Days turned into more than a week. It wasn't painful, but it made me uneasy. I started asking myself questions I didn't like. Why is it still there? Is this normal? My skin felt thinner, slower, almost like paper waiting to tear. And with that came a strange awareness, not just of the cut, but of my whole body. It was like my skin was telling me, I don't heal the way I used to. I remembered a time, years ago, when I fell off a bike and scraped my knee. It was messy, but I laughed it off. A few days later, it was already scabbing over. My body felt dependable then, like a trusted friend. But now, a simple scratch makes me feel fragile, vulnerable, as if the armor I wore for so long had quietly grown soft and thin without telling me. I started being more careful, moving slower, watching corners and edges, avoiding rough fabrics. Not out of fear, but from the quiet realization that healing had become a negotiation, not a promise. Cuts, bruises, even simple bruising took their time, like everything in me was running a little slower. And with that slowness came reflection. This wasn't just aging, it was transformation. Now, every scratch or scrape feels like a conversation with time. My body speaks softly, but I've learned to listen. Not out of worry, but respect. It's reminding me of how much it's done and how much more carefully I need to care for it. Healing still comes, just not as fast, and maybe that's okay. Maybe slower healing means more time to appreciate the strength behind it. Sign number 3, brain fog or memory lapses. It started subtly. A name I couldn't recall. A word stuck on the tip of my tongue. At first, I laughed it off, senior moments, they said. But over time, those moments came more often. I'd walk into a room and stand still, unsure why I was there. The light would be on, a cupboard open, and I'd stare, trying to trace my own steps like following crumbs in a forest of thoughts. Sometimes, I'd find myself telling a story I'd already shared the day before, or searching for my glasses when they were in my hand. These weren't big lapses, but they made me pause. The mind, once sharp and certain, began to feel like fog, thick in places, unpredictable. Conversations became harder. Not because I couldn't speak, but because I kept searching for the right word and it just wouldn't come. I noticed the frustration in others too. A slight pause, a patient smile, a gentle correction. And while no one meant harm, it stung. because inside I was still curious, full of stories, eager to connect. But the fog made me feel slower, like a page missing from a book I once knew by heart. It wasn't just forgetting. It was the fear of forgetting who I've been. There are good days, of course. Mornings when everything feels clear, when memories return like sunlight breaking through clouds. I treasure those days more now. I write things down, speak a little slower, and listen more. And I found that memory isn't just what we keep in our minds, it's what we share, what we pass on. And maybe that's where the real remembering happens. If you've ever walked into a room and forgotten why you were there, you're not alone. Leave a comment, share your story. These moments might feel small, but together they connect us. Like this video, subscribe, and let's keep remembering together one story at a time. Sign number 4, muscle loss and weakness. I used to carry groceries with ease, climb stairs 2 at a time, lift my grandchildren into the air with a laugh. My body was strong. It felt like part of my identity. Lately, though, strength has become effort. Grocery bags strain my arms. Climbing stairs leaves me short of breath. I find myself leaning on railings more often, gripping chairs a little tighter as I stand. It's subtle, but real. There's a kind of silence that comes with weakness. I don't talk about it, but I feel it in every movement. My balance isn't what it was. I walk slower. One avoids certain tasks I once enjoyed. And when the grandkids run ahead of me at the park, I smile, but inside, I feel the distance. I want to keep up, to be the strong one still. But my body whispers, not today. The hardest part isn't the limitation, it's the loss of what used to be so simple. Reaching for a top shelf, kneeling in the garden, even opening jars. I catch myself pretending it's fine. I laugh it off, change the subject, shift focus, but it lingers. This shift in strength makes me question, who am I without the confidence of my own muscles, without the ease I once had? And yet, there's something I've learned. Strength isn't just in muscles, it's in showing up. It's in choosing to move, even when it's harder. It's in asking for help, not out of defeat, but wisdom. I may not lift what I once did, but I carry stories, patience, and presence. That matters too. It's a different kind of strength, quiet, steady. Still mine. If you've made it this far, thank you. You're doing something powerful, choosing to reflect, to understand, to care. Not everyone does that, but you did. You're not just listening to a story, you're part of one. Together, we're stronger. And you're not alone. Sign number 5, dry or thinning skin. One evening, I reached for my hand cream like I always do. But as I rubbed it in, something felt different. My hands, once strong and smooth, now seemed delicate. The skin was thinner, almost transparent, with veins showing through like fragile blue lines. I stared at them for a moment, startled. It wasn't just age spots or wrinkles. It was a feeling as if the skin belonged to someone else. I tried different lotions, thicker ones, scented ones, healing ones. Nothing seemed to change the texture, the dryness, the way my skin creased around my wrists and eyes. It wasn't just dryness, it was a quiet signal, a shift in how my body protected me. I used to love how strong my hands felt. Now I touch them carefully as if they might tear. That strength, that resilience, I realized it had slowly faded. There's something strangely emotional about watching your skin change. It holds so many memories. The scars from childhood falls, the freckles from summer sun, the lines from laughter and worry. Each mark is a chapter. And yet, seeing those chapters fade or wrinkle feels like the book is reaching its later pages. It's beautiful, but it's also hard, not because it's ugly, but because it means time is passing. Sometimes I'll look in the mirror and barely recognize the softness of my features. Not long ago, my face was full, my jaw firm. Now, it's gentler, softer. People say I look kind, warm. And maybe that's true. But some mornings, I look for the version of me that felt fierce, that moved through the world with spark and stride. The reflection is still me, but quieter, more reflective. I've learned to shift my focus to see beauty in the lines and the wear, in the softness. This skin has carried me through decades. It's felt every hug, held every hand, dried tears, planted flowers, fed family. It may be thinner now, but it's lived. And that kind of living leaves marks. Not all beauty is youthful. Some of it is wise, weathered, and well-earned. When I touch my skin now, I do it gently. Not because it's weak, but because it deserves care. I no longer hide the spots or the folds. They're mine. If your skin is changing too, know this. It's not a loss. It's a story. One worth honoring. Like this video and leave a comment if you've noticed these quiet changes. Your story deserves to be seen and remembered. Sign number 6. Disrupted sleep. Nights used to feel like peace. A time to rest, to escape, to dream. But lately, sleep comes in fragments. I drift off only to wake again, sometimes to silence, sometimes to thoughts I can't quiet. The clock glows in the dark. 2:17, 3:41. I lie still, not tired, not fully awake, just floating in between. And in that space, everything I've tried not to think about rises to the surface. I think about old conversations, things I should have said, things I wish I could forget. I remember moments I thought were buried, both the warm ones and the ones that sting. The quiet of night holds no distractions, just me, my breath, my memories. And sometimes I feel the weight of the years pressing down, not in pain, but in presence. Sleep doesn't come easy when the past won't stay quiet. And when morning comes, it doesn't feel like a fresh start, it feels like a continuation. The tiredness follows me into daylight, making small tasks feel heavier. Coffee helps, but not always. Some days, I don't even fight it. I just move slower. I sit longer. I watch the sun rise not out of joy, but because I've been awake to see it. The line between day and night feels thinner than it used to. But even in those restless nights, there's something sacred. A kind of solitude that lets me reflect. I think about people I miss. I replay old songs in my head. I watch the shadows shift on the wall. There's beauty in that stillness, unexpected, but real. And sometimes, when I least expect it, a wave of peace washes over me. Just enough to remind me that even in disrupted sleep, rest can still find me. If your nights are restless too, you're not alone. So many of us lie awake, wondering, remembering, waiting for morning. Thank you for staying with me through this part of the story. You're doing something meaningful, taking time to understand, to feel, to listen. Like this video, leave a comment, and subscribe. Because even when the world is asleep, connection still matters. And you're part of that. So tonight, if you find yourself staring at the ceiling, know this. Someone else is too. And maybe, just maybe, that thought can make the dark feel a little less heavy. Sign number 7. Mood changes or loss of motivation. I used to wake up with excitement, what book I'd read, what flower had bloomed, what small joy the day might bring. But lately, the spark feels dim. I find myself staring at the same page, turning off the radio, skipping my morning tea. The hobbies I once adored feel distant, like echoes from another version of me. It's not sadness, not exactly. Just emptiness, a quiet fading of interest. I still smile when friends call, and I'm grateful when family visits. But even in those moments, I sometimes feel like a shadow of myself. There's a gap I can't explain, like I'm observing life instead of living it. I don't cry, I don't break. But I also don't laugh like I used to. The joy isn't gone, it's just harder to reach. Like it moves somewhere deeper, out of daily view. I've started noticing what I avoid, starting a new puzzle. watering the plants, even calling old friends back. These were once my little lifelines. Now they feel like obligations. And that realization stings, because I know this isn't who I am not fully. I want to care, to feel, to do. But some days, the motivation just doesn't show up. And I sit there, waiting for it like an old friend running late. But here's the truth I hold on to. Just because I feel this way today doesn't mean I always will. Some mornings I wake up and the air feels lighter. A bird sings, a neighbor waves, and I feel a flicker again. It reminds me that feelings shift, that this season, like others, will pass. I'm learning to be kind to myself, to not demand joy on schedule, but welcome it when it comes. And when I do feel that spark, when music moves me, or I lose track of time painting or writing, I hold on to it. I don't chase it, I nurture it. I remind myself that even dim light is still light, and that showing up each day, even with less energy, is still an act of strength. If you've felt like this too, know that you're not alone. This feeling doesn't define you, it just visits. Have you noticed any of these signs in yourself or someone you care about? Your story matters, and so does your voice. Leave a comment below and let us know you're here. And if you're wondering what steps to take next, we've shared 5 key tips to stay happy and healthy after 70. You can watch it right here. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and keep walking this journey with us one story at a time.